What up, what up, what up? Welcome to the Live Game Season 1, Episode 16, The Average Man's Perspective on Football. I am your co-host, Marcus. Joining me on the panel tonight is none other than Herman.
Hey.
What's so funny, Herman?
Nothing.
Y'all got jokes? Mark
Good evening.
and Brian.
What's happening?
Y'all got jokes. So, before we get started tonight, I want to encourage you to go over to sportsintel.net to check out some great commentary and opinion on all things sports related. Once again, that's sportsintel.net. I also want to encourage you to like, share, and subscribe. Hit the video, share the video, hit the subscribe button, hit that little bell icon so you get notified whenever we go live. Also, check us out on Twitter at TheLiveGame3. Is that correct, Javi?
It is.
It is. So this past week, there's a lot going on in football. It's been a very busy week. A lot to talk about. Let's get started. Mark?
Yeah, like you said, week 13, there was a lot of exciting football taking place. We're going to talk about that in the next week, week 14, preview games, and a couple of hot topics we got going on. Kareem Hunt interesting thing with that. Mike McCarthy getting fired. But we're going to get into it. The first game we're going to talk about from last week is – well, we're not talking about that one yet.
That's not first.
It is.
I want to do that one
Let's
last.
get
we're
into
doing
it.
that one last.
No. Since they let me just say this. Because of the week game, that Thursday night game, I blame that game for everything crazy that went on Sunday. I blame them for the Jags winning by 6 points. I blame them for the Redskins getting their quarterback legs broken. I blame them for Pittsburgh never giving up a lead in Pittsburgh over 220 games and we lose it. I blame that all on those Cowboys crazy game. Because if you told me that the Saints was going to get 10 points and they was going to beat them, oh man, I'd have laughed you all the way to sunset.
Also, you can blame him for Mike McCarthy getting fired too.
That too. Everything wacky that went on Sunday.
That's the Cowboys' fault. That's the Cowboys' fault.
Are we getting blamed for Chicago losing in
You
overtime?
Yes,
blame for that.
you blame for that
Yeah,
too.
that was all of it. Everything wacky.
We just
You,
started
you,
off.
you, you threw everything out of whack.
So with that said, I'm going to start off with my week prediction I had. I took an L because I did not see the Cowboys winning it. Kudos to you all Cowboy fans. That's all I got to say about it.
Let me go next.
Marcus, go ahead.
Let me go next. I also took an L. I definitely didn't expect that to happen the way it happened. And we need to be very clear. That score was close. That game was not. At all. Okay? I don't care what that score says. That game was totally not close. Cowboys, I give it to them. You know, I hate the Cowboys, but I give it to them. They dominated that game from the very first second to the very last second. I consider that the Saints' offensive performance, I consider that to watching somebody have an asthma attack. Because that's what it's like having somebody have a labored breathing. Because they could not get that offense going for anything. The Cowboys were just totally in their face the whole time. Even when they got a big play, I felt like they had to work too hard to get it. They won't get another big play anytime soon. It was just, I hate the Cowboys, but I give them props. That defense totally dominated that game.
And Marcus, you know another thing about the Cowboys that was surprising to me in that game is that there was no catching, there was no yards after the catch. Once they got their hand on you, you were going down. They were tackling well in that game.
I
Very
mean,
well.
exactly. I mean, New Orleans offense, they had to work for every single yard. It was total domination by that. It reminded you of the 85 Bears or the 2000 Ravens the way that defense played.
I wouldn't say all that.
No, come on, an offense like New Orleans.
I mean, it was a dominating thing, but I ain't gonna say all that.
I say all that.
The only thing they were missing was probably sacks, but Marcus, I mean, he's on point. The defense dominated that game. The only reason, like you said, it was close because our offense didn't score. Our offense didn't put up the points.
And there was a lot of questionable calls in that game too. Both sides.
Both sides. Both sides. Well, Mr. Holly, who did you have?
Man, I took an L, and this is the best L I think I've ever taken in my life. And if I could take more of these L's, I think I will. Like y'all said, man, it was a dominating game. I was nervous the whole game, excited but nervous, waiting for that New Orleans offense to just, take it down the field, make this game get out of hand. But the Cowboys defense, especially the linebackers, they ran side to side. They shut Kamara down. The Cowboys did something this game they didn't know they don't do. They changed up the game plan. They put in another corner to keep up with Kamara. They played a dime, which was the part of the reason why they got the interception at the end of the game to win it. Shout out to Jason Garrett for that changeup because it's very rare. Normally we stick with what we do. Leighton Vander Esch has been a blessing in disguise. Second, I believe, in the tackles for the rookies right now, right behind Darius Leonard for the Colts. But he was sideline to sideline, gave the ability for Smith to run and make blitzes or put pressure on Breeze, made Breeze get off of where he wanted to let that ball go, made him get the ball early. And you can see like Michael Thomas, for some particular reason, was kind of off in this game. I mean, he had like a lot of chances to catch the ball, but he just like dropped a lot of them. I mean, just flat out dropped them. I mean, the DB was there, but he just actually dropped them. So, I mean, I'm very, very happy for this loss. And I'm going to leave it up to Herman on the rest of it.
So let me leave this up to the last person on this panel, the Lone Wolf.
let me say one more thing before you go, Herman. If you would have told me before this game that Dak Prescott would have almost had double the passing yards that Drew Brees had, I'd have said you a damn lie and I'd slapped your mama.
They showed the halftime stats, and I mean Dallas had like 200 some yards, and I mean the Saints had a total of 176 the whole game.
Yeah, I was getting ready to. If I read this to you, 24 for 28, 248 yards, 1 touchdown. 18 for 28, 127 yards and 1 touchdown. Whose stats would you?
I would have said that was Saints all day.
And an interception. And an interception.
Yeah, and an interception. And it was, Dak. Even though Dak got sacked, I think 5 times, seven, and fumbled a couple, he outplayed him. I mean, the defense. It was all about our defense, though. I mean, our offense, in my opinion, let us down a little bit because it should have never stayed this close, as well as the defense played.
True. Especially down in the red zone.
Yeah. Our defense was able to get in Breeze's face and give him pressure up the middle, and that was the big difference. They talked about that. The analysts did. Breeze, he's only 6 foot. That pressure up the middle is what he's not used to. He's used to being able to step up in the pocket and be protected, and he can make those throws, but we didn't allow him to do that. And basically, that was the difference in the game. I picked the Cowboys. I just had a feeling they played this game with so much confidence. It was amazing to watch. Like, this is the team that they should be every week in and week out. Like, they had to have this game. And they jumped on the Saints from the beginning and just overwhelmed them. And the Saints didn't know what to do.
You're was it Jordan Jones?
Jordan
Lewis. He normally plays safety. They put him in a corner.
He's a corner.
He's corner.
Oh, but they tried to play him at safety at one time.
He may have, but he's like
But he had
he doesn't play that much, but
he was only in there for like 8 snaps.
Yeah, but he made
every play.
There was another play in there that he almost had an interception on early.
Sure did.
So I mean, the one thing from this game you take is that's why they play the games. You can't count a team out. I don't care how good one team is, and compared to the other one, you still got to play. And every now and then, like he said, if you choke somebody out and you choking them out for 60 minutes, what they gonna do?
Well, every game. So
can we talk more about this game?
No, that's it. That's
Got a lot
enough
more
on
I
that
need
one.
to say.
Let me say this. Every week I say, every time we talk about the Cowboys, I say, if Zeke eats, then they win.
Yeah.
Zeke didn't even have 100 yards, and he still won. So that tells you how good
But he did eat. He had, overall, I think he had 123 all-purpose.
But that tells you how dominant that defense was. Is that, Zach didn't get over 100.
He was the only one that got a touchdown in the game.
Really?
Yeah, he scored on one touchdown on the screen pass.
He received a touchdown. Yeah. All right, the next game we're going to go to is the Pittsburgh Steelers and the San Diego Chargers. Brian, I'll let you lead with this one. Go right ahead.
So I really didn't know if I wanted to lead with this one because I can't remember last week if I was a lone wolf on this one.
I think you were.
Who'd you pick?
I picked the Steelers. Now I'm front. I did pick the Steelers. I thought at home. Again, it was a toss-up game. I mean, these two teams are two of the most dominant teams right now going in the AFC. So, it was no guarantees who was going to win this game. And then the way the Steelers came out in the first half, I just knew that this game was over. I'll be honest with you. I think I went to sleep in the third quarter. and only to wake up and have to watch the highlights on the NFL channel to realize that the Chargers came back and won that game. Drew Brees was balling. I mean, he was.
You mean
balling.
Phillip Rivers?
Phillip Rivers. I'm sorry, Phillip Rivers. I apologize. Was balling in that game. I mean, he was just on point, and really showed why he should not, be forgotten when you're talking about the MVP. But I did pick the Steelers, so I do take another loss in that count.
Herman?
Yeah, I had the Steelers too, man. And I wrote in my notes here. This was like a tale of two separate halves. I mean, at first it looked like the Steelers was going to run away with this game in the first half. So, like Brian said, I started watching the second half, and I didn't fall asleep because I'm like, what am I watching here? Like, is this really happening? And I'm watching this implosion of a team. And then Mark is going to talk about this one. They put that stat up, that stat that jinxes you every time. And the Steelers hadn't lost at home, winning the game. It was a crazy
leading
number.
in the second half.
Leading in the second. It was crazy.
It was an overwhelming statistic.
And when I saw that stat, I knew they were going to lose. But, Rivers was 26 for 36, 299 yards, 2 touchdowns. Roethlisberger was 29 for 45, 281 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Roethlisberger's been on too much.
Yeah, he is.
I know. I think they only ran like 8 times in the second half or something like that.
He's throwing too much. I don't know what your offensive coordinator is doing.
And then Connor got hurt. When did Connor go out? What quarter did Connor
It
go
was
out?
fourth quarter. He got hurt. It was fourth quarter. Yeah, this year. Marcus, go ahead.
Well, I think I was a lone wolf on this because I picked the Chargers last week.
Somebody run back the tape.
I'm telling you,
Somebody picked the Chargers.
it was me. Woo! Because even though they were playing in Pittsburgh, it just the Chargers have been, that hot fire lately. They just been doing a whole lot, and the Steelers are like, they should be settled by this time of the year, and they shouldn't be losing these games. But the Chargers right now are a very tough team to beat, and by halftime, I was like, oh well, I'm taking an L on this. The Steelers going to win. But then for them, to see them come back and win that game, it was just amazing. And and the Steelers, if they hope to make the playoffs, they really need to get together. I think when did they play the Patriots? Is that 2 weeks or
The week after next? They play Oakland and then they play Patriots next.
And who's after that? What's the rest? The rest of the schedule?
I think we got.
I don't know.
I can't think of it. I think it may be Cincinnati or somebody one of the
Oh well,
division games.
okay, they might still be in good shape. Even
They're only a half a game in front of the Ravens right now.
really.
Cincinnati's the last game.
Yeah, they're only a half a game in front of the Ravens, I think.
Yeah, so they needed this game, but they should definitely beat Oakland. So, but
They better.
if they don't, they're in trouble because if you
These
can't,
guys, you
you can't go to Pittsburgh.
They haven't beat the Raiders in the last 3 attempts that they played them. So
But this game, they play the Raiders at home or in Oakland.
either way, either Oakland or here in Pittsburgh.
They better beat them this week. I mean, come on, Oakland is bad this year, really bad.
I mean, Oakland is bad, but they gave Kansas City a run for their money.
Yeah,
That's because Kansas City defense is terrible.
I was not that great either.
That's true.
On this game, I mean, there's so many bad things happen in this game. For one, the false start, the Chargers got a touchdown off of.
Yeah.
That shouldn't even happen.
How do you miss that?
That was not.
it turned around and happened again in the Redskins game on Monday.
It sure did.
And that's the job of the head linesman. That's the only
To
job.
watch down the line.
Yeah.
And this is not the first time that they did it. This happened in another game a couple weeks ago where Chargers scored a touchdown on the same play again.
And that
referee got fired.
Yeah, he did.
That was one thing. But there's no way in heck, man. Steelers, this game should have been over by halftime. There's no way San Diego should have been in this game. The other thing was the San Diego coaching showed a lot of poise in this. They were able to keep their game plan together through the whole thing to come back, which was fantastic. The kicks, the missed field goals again played a part in it. And at the end of the game, you had 3 attempts for a field goal.
I forgot about that.
Each time was offside. I don't know if you all know that there's a rule in the NFL rule book that if you continually commit a foul, that if you're warned twice by the referee, he can, if you do it again after that, he can already automatically reward the points to the opposing team. That played a part in the game because I think the refs was about ready to say, you know what, you guys just give it to him.
And it was the same player all 3 times.
Well,
Yeah, it was.
At least 2 to 3 it was.
remember, he missed the first one. The second one got blocked, which he was offside.
But no, all 3 were offsides
All
though.
3 was offside.
Yeah, all three
That's
was
why you
offside.
got the second chance.
No, but I'm saying okay. But was it him that whole time?
Yeah.
It was him.
At least 2 to 3 was him. At least two. At least 2 for sure.
It was. It sure
The
was.
first time it didn't look as blatant like that. The other attempts, it was
Right. The other time was like, yeah.
Now, he needed to run laps in practice. Is what he needed to do.
I mean, I'll be honest with you. On the third one, I would have been like F it too.
He was so offside, he jumped past the ball.
I was like, F it
He
too.
flew by him, then he kicked it.
Right. You know, not only is that an NFL rule, but that's also a Madden rule. It's egregious, and they kick you off the game, you automatically lose.
Yeah, of course. I took the Steelers on that one, and I lost. I took another L on that one. All right, going to the next week game, we got the Philadelphia Eagles take on the Washington Redskins. Woo!
This was Monday night
This
too.
was Monday night game.
This is a Monday night game. Marcus, you want to lead us off with this one?
I mean, well, you know,
Might want to go last on this one.
there ain't much to say because you know it's
Oh,
money.
you sure? I think you have a lot to say.
No, I don't have a lot to say at all. But you know, it's Monday night. Redskins record on Monday night sucks. You know, I picked them, but I didn't really think they were going to win. I had to pick them out of obligation. And you know, if I had to put money on it, I'd have picked the Eagles. But I mean, they're not a good team. Got mad injuries. You know, Colt McCoy goes down. You know, all I gotta say is, you know, it's time to clean house. Get rid of the coaching staff. You know, I'm still pissed. This is what really irritates me more than anything. We was probably going to try to be one of the greatest coaches in the NFL in our stable with Sean McVay.
McVay?
Yeah, and we let him go to keep damn Jay Gruden. That's all I gotta say. You know, a typical Redskins. We should have got rid of Gruden and got rid of that whole coaching staff and kept Sean McVay, and maybe we could have been what the Rams are right now.
But he didn't really shine with y'all like that, though.
Well, he had a chance to shine.
That's what I mean. So y'all didn't really know what you were getting rid of or letting go.
Well, he must have shined enough to get an opportunity for him.
Yeah, obviously, he's trying enough to get that head coaching job in
I don't know. I just think a lot of things just went in line for McVay to succeed with the Rams. I don't think he would have had that choice here.
That may be true, but I still would have rather had him than Jay Gruden or whoever the hell else.
What you think now, but yeah, but I don't think you would have had that. I don't think you
But
had
I mean,
that.
if that's the case, then we should be mad because we had Sean Payton in our stables and we let him out the door too.
I am mad. I am mad.
Oh.
I'm mad about
What'd you
that.
say?
There you go. You know, but it just the Redskins. You know, the Redskins aren't a good team, and you know it pretty much even if everybody would, if you take away all the injuries, I don't think they still would have won that game because you know their Monday night record is terrible. You know,
But you all were in it. The
It was
second or
13
third
to
quarter.
14
Yeah,
in
I was
the
in
third
it.
quarter.
Nah.
And your quarterback was Sanchez.
I mean,
So, I mean, Philadelphia did what they had to do, but they had to wait till the fourth quarter to get in there
struggle.
to put the game. Yeah, so
I mean, because Philadelphia's not that great right now, but still, I mean, come on.
But we're going back to the point that you all had an opportunity in that game more so than what you think you did. What you had. You had a chance. in the
when
game.
a 37-year-old running back
90 yard
90-yard touchdown.
And you know, he's still didn't get 100 yards in that game.
Yeah,
I don't
he
even
got
know.
98
I don't even know how
yards.
that's possible.
He still didn't get 100 yards in that game.
Jay Gruden, he did this starting with the Dallas game for the Skins. He stopped running the football,
Yeah,
and
Exactly.
I don't understand why.
Exactly.
especially
no
with
rhyme or reason,
with a
Exactly.
guy that you only knew like 12 plays in the offense.
and you don't run the football.
Why aren't you running the heck out of that
Right.
ball?
Any quarterback can turn around and hand the ball off, you know, and maybe throw one or two passes for you. That right there, I totally agree with you. He should be fired because he's not a good coach. Not just because he's the Redskins coach. He's not a good coach.
He's
There's
not.
no excuse for that. There's no way a running back should ever get a 90-yard touchdown run and not get 100 yards in a game. You
Yeah.
could stumble into 100 yards after that. Like, for real.
He should have ran backwards on that play.
And,
Anyway.
and then the last thing that I had a problem with is the Eagles' only main weapon was Zach Ertz.
And they knew that when the game
you
started.
couldn't double Zach Ertz. You couldn't double him. You couldn't put two. That was I couldn't understand that one either.
It's a total just show right now, you know. But it's been like that for years, you know. And you know, my big issue is I think I'm not that much younger than Dan Snyder, so he might outlive me, and I'll never get to see the Redskins good again.
I chose the Redskins in this one. I took another L. I for some reason I had faith that you all will pull out against the Eagles. I didn't think the Eagles had much to really to offense to really keep them going, and
They don't. The Redskins defense is bad right now. Terrible.
yeah. Herman,
Yeah, I had the Skins too. You know, I don't usually pick the Skins, but it was the Eagles and Skins. So, but I really thought that the Redskins were going to beat the Eagles. I felt like I was hoping or thinking they would run the football, and you know that their offense would be able to put up just enough because the Eagles just have been looking really bad. So now they sparked a little bit of life, but again they did still struggle in this game. Wentz was like he threw for 306 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception.
Ugly interception down in the red zone.
yeah. Holly,
So apparently, I didn't realize it, but apparently I lone wolfed this one. I did pick Philly.
you got Redskins on it.
Yeah, then the yellow is Philly. So, and the reasons again, well, like I talked about, was why I picked Philly. A, Philly was at home. B, I didn't have that much faith in Colt McCoy, regardless. So once Colt went out in the first quarter, I mean, I really did. I thought this game was going to be a blowout. The Redskins defense did let them down, because like Mark was saying, I mean, they only really had Ertz to throw to. I mean, they had Sproles. Sproles didn't really do much. They really didn't run the ball that well. I mean, they just kept throwing to Ertz. When it was in doubt, throw it up to Ertz. So the fact that you lose like that, you know, and then again with the 90-yard run, and like Herman said, you only get 8 more yards after that, is ridiculous. So, you know, I mean, Philly, you did what you had to do. Good job, but I mean.
So, you know, look at the stats here. The Redskins defense had no sacks, had only 2 tackles for a loss, and only 3 passes deflected. You know,
What was the time of possession in the game for Eagles? You know,
I don't see that stat here.
because you know when if your defense is on the field all the
And
time,
gets tired, yeah.
it's not. You know,
Yeah, that's
it
true.
doesn't matter how
That's
good
true.
it is, they're gonna get winded. And
Yeah,
they're
that's
gonna be done. So, yeah, you got to take that into account.
That was part of the.
Oh, time of Philly was 39 minutes and 19 seconds compared to Washington's 20 minutes 41 seconds. So almost double.
It's almost double. So you figure your defense was on the field most of the game.
Yeah, and only deflected 3 passes. Come on.
Yeah. All right, moving on. The next game we have was the New England Patriots against the Minnesota Vikings.
Sunday night.
Brian, who did you take?
Man, I picked this one wrong. I was drinking the Kool-Aid, thinking that the Vikings was on a run and was going to actually be the team that we all thought they were going to be this year. But, you know, Tom Brady, the Patriots at home, you know, Sunday night, they did what they had to do. What was it, like 28-13 or something like that?
28-10.
24-10.
Sorry, 24-10.
You know, Kirk Cousins didn't look good in this game. They couldn't seem to get the running game going. I mean, the offense is the only kind of bright spot was Thielen again. But, you know, the Pats did what they had to do. They did a good job. I caught that out.
Herman, who'd you have?
I had the Patriots. I want to believe in the Vikings, but they're just too up and down. I don't know. They are a total disappointment to me this year because I picked them, I think, to win the NFC North, if I'm not mistaken. But they've just been this total up and down, you know, Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde team. I don't understand what's going on with them.
Have they overpaid for Cousins?
I don't believe that they overpaid for Kirk necessarily, but
I do.
because they of course you do. We know that.
Well, I mean, yeah, they technically overpaid, but Kurt's a good quarterback.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think Kurt is worth, you know, to being the highest paid quarterback in the NFL. He's not the best one, but you know, that was just the market. He just hit the market at the right time.
Yeah,
you know, some other team had paid him 2 years ago. He wouldn't have got all that money, but they want to keep franchising.
Maybe that team wouldn't be hurting right now for a quarterback.
Yeah,
but I don't think that he's necessarily the problem.
No, he's not.
I think that they have all the weapons there. They need to get back to a consistent run game and let him play off the play action. But right now the Vikings just I don't know if I can pick them again anymore.
Let the Patriots defense leave you. They only scored 10 points on the Patriots defense.
But at the same time too, it's hard to play in Foxborough.
Yeah,
very hard to play in Foxborough. So
this one, I chose the Patriots on this one. It was kind of hard for me to go against Tom Brady. Marcus, who did you have?
Well, I picked the Patriots. I'm a Tom Brady fanboy. The Patriots are 59-11 in December. So I don't know how anybody would pick Minnesota in Gillette Stadium in December.
Hey man, this was a November game.
No, it wasn't.
No,
Yes, it was.
No, Saturday was December 1st. Thank you very much.
It was a November game.
Nice try.
It was a December game. And, Tom.
Marcus, it is a December game. Go ahead.
Time. You have to hear this is exactly what the Patriots do. They don't really start. They don't really start going to this time of the season when it really counts. And they did what they always do. And everybody keeps waiting for, the Patriots to go down, for Tom Brady to start to decline. But it doesn't appear to be it's going to be this year. It might be soon.
I don't know.
It might be soon.
I think they're very beatable.
We'll see. We'll see.
Minnesota's front four not getting more pressure on Brady in that game.
That is more.
We'll see in the playoffs.
We will. But if I'm a wild card team, I think I'm more worried about having to play like the Chiefs and the Chargers right now.
Chargers are deadly.
You know what I mean? Like, and honestly, like I'd be like, well, we might have a chance against the Patriots compared to the Chiefs.
Like Marcus said, this is their year of shining. I mean, that is an astonishing stat.
Yeah, this is their time, but we're gonna see. I mean, it's different this year. The Patriots feel different this year.
They definitely feel different, but I don't think the decline is upon us just yet.
Last game we had for Week 13 was the Baltimore Ravens and the Atlanta Falcons. This one, I chose the Ravens in this particular game. This was actually Lamar Jackson's third start, believe it or not. What really won the game for them, their defense just dominated. They just dominated it. They held the Atlanta to 131 points total in the whole game.
Their offense sucks right now too. That's part of it.
Which is crazy.
The Falcons' offense sucks. Which is nuts.
I mean, it was you had to do too much on offense really for the Ravens to win that game. To be honest with you, Marcus, who did you take?
I picked the Ravens. Just like you said, the Falcons. They're not looking good this year. And you're right. The defense just dominated that game to keep Matt Ryan to 131 yards passing, 16 for 26. That's crazy. And then, from Lamar Jackson, have only 12 or 21 for 125 yards. That tells you what the defense is doing. They're the ones controlling that game. If your quarterback has that low numbers too. So.
And what was the running back?
Which one?
Gus for Baltimore.
Gus Edwards.
Yeah. How many yards he had?
Yeah, he was 21 for 82.
Okay. Yeah. So, Herman?
Yeah, I had the Ravens too, because the Falcons are terrible right now. I don't even know what I'm looking at, and that's another one of my division winner picks that I had. I mean, their offense is playing like some crap. Julio Jones, he didn't do anything. I got him in fantasy. He didn't do jack. Helped me lose my game, but
he only had 18 yards.
The one thing I'm gonna say is Lamar Jackson, son, please get down. You are not gonna make it in the NFL if you keep diving head first and you refuse to slide.
And you have the poster boy for that
as your backup. I'm pretty sure he's probably not telling them get down. He's probably like, yeah, keep that up because he knows he's going to get the job.
He got hurt. He got kicked by his own player
in the face.
So he had to set out a couple plays.
The Ravens need to respect this kid as a quarterback too. They need to stop some of these design run calls and stuff and let this boy throw the football. You drafted him as a quarterback. Let him throw the football. Call the plays. High percentage passes, the stuff that he can do, mix in a little bit of the runs, teach him to get down, and you're going to have success. But if you keep this up, you'll be looking at another RG3 type situation.
Well, I hope not. I certainly hope not. Because, like you said, the poster boy is sitting right behind him. So, definitely don't have RG3 teaching him how to slide lessons.
That's right.
Get somebody else.
Right. That's right. Brian, who you have?
I mean, I'm along with this one. I got it wrong, man. I went with the Falcons. I wasn't with this Ravens offensive gimmick. I thought if the Falcons got up by a couple touchdowns, that their defense would be able to handle, what the Ravens was putting out. But like you said, I didn't anticipate that defense playing that well against that Falcons offense. But the Ravens defense is a real MVP of this game. And Herman saying they do need to let him pass, but I'm wondering if, because I think when they drafted Lamar, I think that he was supposed to be a year project. I don't think he really was supposed to start games. I think he was supposed to come in, get his feet wet, get acclimated, because I'm not positive that this kid can actually read defenses very well.
Well, yeah, he definitely has to learn. But if that's the case, why not have just went ahead and rolled with RG3? He's a veteran.
Exactly.
You had him
Because
from the
I don't think
the
he can read
beginning.
defenses very
Well,
well.
I believe he can. I mean, if Lamar is a project, as much of a project, as they seem to think he is, I would have rolled with RG3.
Yeah.
You only need him to fill in for a couple of games while Flacco was his hip.
His hip, yeah, and apparently that hip was a little more.
Yeah, it's
than
worse than what they thought.
anticipated.
But you throw in Lamar, and now you got all the controversy and talk about, is this the future? What's the future with Flacco? You wouldn't even have to have dealt with that if you had put in RG3.
I think Flacco is we said early in the season or beginning of the year.
I know. I think he's done too. But what I'm saying is that if you want Lamar to learn and not have to go in under fire, you roll with RG as the starter after Flacco goes down.
True.
And you let Lamar continue to learn and come in and do what you had him do.
Yeah, but
And it's easier to do it because you got two similar quarterbacks.
I mean, but in that case, RG3 only good for like 2-3 games. He got hurt too, and then
That's right. That goes back.
Just like Colt McCoy.
And they wouldn't have won either. So
I don't know, y'all. I mean, I think RG has learned his lesson. I think he's humble, and I mean,
He has to be humble because he at the beginning when they was going through the cuts, I know he was terrified thinking he was going to get cut because the Ravens traditionally never carried three quarterbacks, and for some particular reason they did with RG3, which is part of the reason why I think too that they wanted Lamar to be more of a project and not necessarily have to tote the load.
Yeah.
Now is I know that Flacco was throwing last week or was at practice.
He's not. I don't think he's going to play again this week.
Okay.
Yeah, I think they said he still needed a little bit. They were going to increase his workload, but they didn't think he was ready yet. So we'll have to keep an eye on that one.
all right, so this week 14 games we got coming up.
No.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
We were still the Ravens.
Yeah. Ravens last
That was the
game.
last
Oh,
game
okay.
of last week.
Oh yeah, you're right. I'm sorry.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Week 14 games we got coming up for next week. First one we got is the Jags against the Titans. Marcus. Who you got in that one, Marcus?
I mean, come on, even though the Giants managed to squeak out a win this week in Chicago, which I don't know how they did.
Chicago blew it.
Yeah.
They blew it. Go ahead.
The Giants are still garbage. They're the lowest.
Jags.
Huh?
It's the Jags versus the Titans.
Oh, the Jags. Oh, I thought you said Giants. Oh, my bad.
Jags.
Oh, in that case,
Jacksonville Jaguar. Jaguar.
I guess what you said Giants, man.
I thought he was talking
What
about
do you
the game for the Giants last week.
Are you doing
I
any type of research? I mean, what do you do?
I didn't know it.
Go ahead, Marcus.
I'm going with the Titans. Titans. Jags is garbage this year. Did Blake Bortles, did he get benched permanently, or is he playing?
Yeah, he's been
He's done.
Yeah. Then I'm definitely going with the Titans then.
Let's what's the name get hurt.
right.
Herman, who you got?
I'm going with the Jags, believe it or not. Fournette's going to be back this week because he only had a one-game suspension.
Yep.
The Titans have definitely cooled off from the two games that they won. It's a divisional game, and I just feel like the Jags are going to go and that they have the motivation to mess with somebody's playoff chances, and I think they're going to beat them. So I'm going with the Jags.
I'm taking back off of you, Herman. I think I got the same sentiment about it. Fournette coming back is going to be a big plus for him. Titans another team that scares me. I can't figure out which Titan team is going to play.
You don't know which one's going
But
to show.
Jags D can put it on you when they want to. But I think them being able to run the ball, I think they definitely will get them. So I'm taking the Jags. Brian, who you got?
Man, I'm gonna ride with Marcus on this one. I'm gonna go with the Titans.
Oh, yeah,
We
split.
got the Titans at 6-6. We got the Jags at 4-8. The Titans are giving up 4 points in this game, but the Jags are coming in with the number 3 total defense and the number 3 pass defense. But I don't like either one. I mean, both of these teams are Jekyll and Hyde. I mean, they're up, they're down. I mean, they're scrapping against the Steelers and they give it up. They beat the Colts, 6-0. But you can't sustain wins like that. Scoring such little points in there. The Titans have shown a tenacity to score on some teams. They did beat a couple, really good teams like the Patriots. So, I mean, it's at home. They're giving up the 4. Give me the Titans.
One other thing.
Stop typing.
Last week, did anybody? How we do as far as prediction last week?
I did awful. I did
2
2 and 3.
2 and 3. Marcus.
I was 3-2.
3 and 2.
I was 3
Okay.
and 2.
All right. Next game we got on top
But in my heart, I was 3 and 3.
is the LA Rams against the Chicago Bears.
Now we talking.
They played this in Chicago, correct?
Yes, it's in Chicago.
And it's supposed to be cold.
It's gonna be cold, yeah. You can take it, Brian. Who you got in this one?
So in this one, the Bears are +3 at home. So the Rams are actually giving up 3 points as the away team. The Rams with the number 2 offense, the Bears with the number 4 defense. But the Rams also coming in with the number 1 rusher in the league, which is Gurley. Gurley has taken the lead again over our beloved Ezekiel Elliott for right now. The Rams 11-1, Bears are 8-4. The Rams are on a run, and the Bears are good, but Trubisky is coming back. I just don't think that they
He
can
plays
back
this
week. I think he might be coming back this week, from what I heard. If he doesn't come back, then it's definitely not going to be a close game. The Bears, again, like Marcus said, lost to the Giants last week, so give me the Rams.
Marcus, who you got?
This is going to be a really good game. I got a lot of faith right now in the Bears, especially with Mr. Trubisky coming back and, with Khalil Mack on that defense. That defense is playing so awesome. But, it's hard to pick against the Rams. It's so very hard to pick. They got everything together on offense. What's his name on the cornerback? He's back.
Talib.
Yeah, Talib. He's back.
Yeah, that's right.
So, but this will be interesting to see. They're an LA team. They're used to playing out there in the warm weather, and they're going to go out there in Chicago. It's it's probably going to be really cold. And that cold tends to slow down those pass heavy offenses. But lucky for them, they got Todd Gurley to run it down their throat. So I think this is going to be a close game, but I'm going to go with the Rams.
Okay. Herman.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll with the Rams on this one too. Even if Trubisky is back, I think that push up the middle, Aaron Donald, is ridiculous.
That's another thing.
And then Sue, yeah, that push up the middle, and especially if Trubisky is not there, and it's Daniel, that's gonna get ugly. I know it's gonna get cold, and they talk about these teams that these hot, like Marcus said, these West Coast teams that got to go play in the cold, but the Rams bring a run game with them, so they're suited for the cold too. So I'm going with the Rams.
Bring a run game and a defense.
Exactly, I'm going with the Rams.
Wait,
Do we need to? No long wolf. No long wolf here. This one, I'm taking the Rams on it too, despite they playing in the windy city. I just think the Rams got too much power there, especially if Trubisky's not playing. I'm definitely taking the Rams all the way. So
Did you think we'd be saying that this year? If Trubisky's not playing, they definitely.
I knew they were going to be an improved team. I knew that, but I didn't think they'd be.
I knew they were going to be one of the stronger defenses. I have actually been somewhat surprised with how well the offense is.
Yeah. And it's just another note. What's his name? Aaron Donald and Khalil Mack on the same field.
Yeah,
Might be a lot of sacks in this game, boy.
yeah, very well could be.
Defensive player of the year. But
Next game we got is the Minnesota Vikings against the Seattle Seahawks. Marcus, who you got in this one?
You already know. I'm not picking. I'm just like Herman. I'm off the Vikings. I'm going with the Seahawks. That's all I need to say.
Let's see. Is Seahawks in the win streak right now?
yes, they are.
Yes, they are 5 in a row, I believe.
Is it 5?
Yeah.
I believe so.
They're on a win streak. And they playing in Seattle.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't have enough faith in the Vikings on this one. I'm gonna have to agree with you, Marcus. I'm taking Seattle. I think Russell Wilson. He just finds a way. He's a good quarterback, but he also a good game manager. He does real well with managing the ball game at the end of the game. So yeah, I'm taking Seattle. Herman, who you got?
Yeah, I'm gonna roll with Seattle on this one. The Vikings I don't believe in them anymore. And their defense isn't there, the offense isn't there. Like they've slumped. It seems like each week they just get. It feels like they get worse. Except for their last game, the one before the Patriots game. But I just don't believe in these Vikings.
And now when you think about, the Packers.
Yeah, exactly. The Packers, exactly. So that game doesn't even look like that great of a game. So, and it's hard to go up to Seattle and win. Not a lot of teams do it, especially this time of year. So I got to roll with Seattle.
Brian?
I'm going with the Seahawks also. Ain't no way in hell I'm going to wolf it with this one. The Seahawks are giving up 3 points, which is really surprising. I thought they would be giving up more than that at home, but they do come in the league with the number 1 rushing offense. They're putting out about almost 150 yards a game, 148.8. The Vikings defense is not what it's supposed to be cracked up to be. The offense has all the pieces, but they're just not putting them together this year. So give me the Seahawks.
Cool.
Oh, and that might be the chance for the Redskins to sneak in and jump above the Vikings mark.
Yeah, whatever.
I don't think it's happening. Next game we got Baltimore Ravens against the Kansas City Chiefs. This is a good one. This is gonna be another good one. You got that Kansas City offense against a good good Baltimore defense. Man, I'm still taking Chiefs though. I'm going with the Chiefs, despite not having Kareem Hunt. They just signed.
I can't remember his name. He was with them before.
But he was there before, yeah.
Priest Holmes?
No.
Sarkandrick
West. There you go. They just got him back. But they just have a running back by committee, pretty much. But I think the Kansas City is going to be a little bit too much for Baltimore to deal with. Herman, who you got?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Chiefs on this one. The Ravens' offense isn't going to be able to produce enough points, I don't think, to go head to head with the Chiefs' offense. So, Chiefs will win this. Whoever scores the most points will win the
game. Brian, who you got?
Man, I'm with everybody in accord on this one. That Chiefs 10-2 record with the Ravens 7-5. Like they were saying, Ravens are half a game behind the Steelers, so they really could use this game. The number 1 ranked defense is the Ravens. They're number 2 against a pass, and they're number 3 against a run. But the Chiefs are number 3 in offense overall, and number 3 pass offense. It's in Arrowhead. The Chiefs, like Herman said, they're just too much firepower, and their defense sucks. And the Ravens will be able to get down the field if they could shorten the game, and not let the Chiefs offense get on the field. But I just don't see that scenario happening. I'm going with the Chiefs.
Marcus, who you got?
Well, I got to go with the Chiefs. It's like everybody said. Just said the Chiefs right now. The offense is pretty much unstoppable right now. I do like the Ravens defense. I do believe they will give Mahomes some trouble. He probably have a couple of picks this game, but like Herman said, I just can't see Baltimore's offense keeping up with them. So especially once they have to abandon the run game to keep up with the Chiefs' offensive points, then it won't be much of a game after that. So I'm gonna go with the Chiefs.
Okay. All right, last game we got for the week is the Indianapolis Colts against the hot Houston Texans. Herman, who you got?
I'm gonna roll with the hot team. I'm going with the Texans on this one. People better watch out. Nobody's talking about the Texans. They're on like a nine-game win streak. Nobody's talking about the Texans. Everybody's talking about the Chiefs. Everybody's talking about the Steelers, the Patriots, blah blah.
The Chargers.
The Texans are going to win their division, and they have to deal with whoever their wild card is. And let's say it's like San Diego. The Chargers. They could go into Houston and lose that game because nobody's thinking about Houston. and then you got to look up and contend with that. So they're a hot team. They got everything, a little bit of everything going right now. Their defense is there. Their offense is playing. I'm going with the Texans.
Marcus, who you got?
Well, definitely going Texans. I've been all in on Deshaun Watson all year. And after that, that 3-game losing streak to start the season, your odds go way down if you start 0-2. But they turned it around big time, and they're firing on all cylinders right now. And I don't think the Colts got the Colts are doing good too, but I don't think they got nothing for the Texans right now.
Texans got 3 pass rushers that are real good. Watt, Clowney, and Merciless. Yeah, I think their defense is going to do a number on the coach. I'm taking the Texans on this one also. Brian, you got?
All right, so this one we got the 6-6 Colts against the 9-3 Texans. Texans are giving up 4.5. They are at home. We do have the leading rookie of the year, defensive player of the year right now, Darius Leonard, playing in this game. Right now, he leads the league, not just rookies, but the league with 123 sacks.
Tackles.
Yeah, 123 sacks. Yes. The Texans got the number 3 rush.
You're not playing man.
Number 10 total defense. Watt, like I said, Mark was saying, Watt, Merciless, and Clowney are a beast. The Colts got a good offense, but I mean, when you can't score against, score enough points to beat the Jacksonville, it's going to be tough when the Texans can.
It's scoring nothing. It's scoring nothing.
I mean, you can't. I mean, it was 6. Okay, you can't get it in his zone once. So, I'm going with the Texans.
So I think that wraps up for that particular week 14. We're gonna get into the hot topics. The one that's burning like everywhere was the Kareem Hunt video that came out. What you fellas think about that one?
Well, let me start off. Let me say this. When you are a player in the NFL, you are a target. And you really, every year you hear about these rookie symposiums they have for the rookies in the NFL about finances. They may need to start having one about, thinking smart.
They do.
They do the same thing.
They do. Yeah, it's all incorporated.
They typically bring in like a veteran or somebody who's been in, like Michael Vick one year, for instance. So they do bring somebody in to have that topic.
Well, obviously they need to double it because this is getting out of hand. You have to be smarter than that. And I don't know Kareem Hunt's complete background, but most of the time, you're coming from a poor background. A lot of people are depending on you as well as you depending on yourself. And the one thing I just don't understand in that video, he was with an entourage, and I'm a huge Biggie Smalls fan, and Biggie Smalls' song 10 Crack Commandments. I forget there was one commandment. It was something about let them dudes hold your guns or whatever. If you got an entourage, and I'm not gonna this shouldn't have been done. Period. It was wrong. Shouldn't have been touching or putting in there. But I understand he rolling with the entourage, and you the one doing your own dirt.
Yeah.
I just don't understand that at all. If you paying for everybody getting in the club, you buying bottles and drinks, and they getting your leftover women, then they need to be doing any dirt that needs to be done. You don't need to be on video. He shouldn't have been. He got pulled back into the room by his entourage. He shouldn't have came back out. He's just not making smart decisions.
And the story is that we don't know how true this is that the young lady was kicked out of there because she wouldn't leave. She wouldn't. She would participate in any other curricular activities with the entourage. So therefore, he kicked her out. Is what it was, and that's what the argument got started about. But I saw his interview he did. Did you all see it? He does not look like he's remorsed about the whole situation at all. It actually looks like he's smiling and joking through the whole interview.
Because I read the transcript, but I didn't see it.
Yeah, you got to watch the interview.
He should have just stuck to a written statement. I'm going to say this about it. For one, like you said, I'm not saying that the woman should have been assaulted or anything, but Marcus, I agree with you. You have to be smarter. If I'm rolling with an entourage and I'm the guy with the money, I'm going to expect y'all to do whatever the dirt needs to be done. Point blank, period. And I'm talking about any type of dirt. But this is the thing that got me, and maybe this is why he was dumb enough to be out there doing this stuff. if you saw the video, did you notice the level of aggression that he had towards this chick?
We know it said she, you know,
She was saying racial slurs.
yeah,
Yeah,
and he's saying she spit on him too.
yeah, the level of aggression. It was like I think it was total. Was it 3 dudes? It was 2. It was a white dude. I saw the one guy. It might have been another one. I can't remember.
It was a mix because I know he shoved like 2 of them out of the way.
The level and that level of aggression is kind of scary, man. Like that's why you know he has some type of anger issues and may need
because he wouldn't let it alone.
He wouldn't leave it alone. I mean, this is a woman. This is what came to my mind after I watched it a couple times. What if he had got to her? What the hell was he gonna do to that chick if he had got to her as mad as he was? I feel like he would have, you know, it's speculation, but just looking at the level of aggression, he would have whooped her bad. Okay, bad. Now, from what I saw from the video, he's a young man. I don't think he should lose his career over it. Somebody's going to give him a second chance, I think. I mean, we can't sit up here and act like these players are perfect. Like you said, Marcus, a lot of them from poor backgrounds. They don't know no better. He claims that he was raised by his mom and his grandmother properly or whatever. Fine. So let's just say, okay, he did make a mistake. He needs to face his suspension, like he would have, just like as if
any penalties,
right, just like he would have as if he went to jail. You know, this would have been an assault. He would have went to jail for whatever and came out, and he deserves a second chance. They don't need to bury this man. He's only 20-something years old.
23.
23. He made a mistake. Now, if it becomes a pattern, like we have with some other players in the league, then yeah, these players should be banned from the league forever. Especially these ones that are laying their hands on women numerous times or accused of laying their hands on women numerous times, claim that the woman was lying, but you back dealing with her again, and she lying on you again, supposedly. You know what we getting at. But anyway, multiple offenses of this, you know, one time it should be a 1 strike. You know, you get a second chance, 2 strikes, you're out. You know, that's it. Bottom line, that's my opinion.
I really think these guys, maybe NFL needs to get them maybe some mental counseling, because this is starting to be a pattern.
Oh yeah.
And you know, I don't think they know how to deal with aggression and bad things.
They don't, but they never have had to. You're a star in high school. You're a star in college. Your manhood is based on how well you play football. Football is all based on manhood. You don't not play because you're hurt. You don't tell the coach that you have a concussion. You keep trying to play. It's all about your aggression, how big and how tough and how bad you are. So for some woman to come at this kid and call her all these names, and who do you think you're talking to? You know, I'm Kareem Hunt. You know, I'm a Kansas City Chiefs star. You know, I would bust you up. You know, is what they're thinking. These kids don't know any better. They're 19, they're 20, they're 23 years old. They have to know better, but they don't. And I don't, like you said, somebody needs to be able to get them to understand you are a target. You cannot do these things because you're the only one that's going to lose in the end.
It's like you said, more mental. They need some type of mental health counseling.
And it's 2018.
Unless you're going to change the whole NFL. The whole NFL is based on masculine.
Well, you still need counseling.
You still need counseling. Masculine and need counsel.
You still need counseling.
You still go to counseling so that they can put you in these types of, at least
you understand that most men don't want to go to counseling because they think it's a sign of weakness.
Well, then you are a weak man. If you're not putting go to counseling,
right. But what I'm saying is this is.
Hey, so you want to be considered weak, or you want to be broke out of your high paying job because you got yourself in trouble?
Exactly.
You know, and it's 2018. Everything is on video these days. Everything.
It is. But go back to Marcus Helms at 18, 19 years old down at the college.
I didn't have that much to lose. I didn't have as much to lose as these dudes did. You have your time and your help. You still go to jail for these things. People do go get arrested for assault and go to jail for these things. True, but like I said, most of the time these people got whole families depend on them. You know what I'm saying? You can't allow yourself.
Right, but I guess my point is that yes, we all understand what's right and what's wrong, but at the same time, these are kids. The kids.
So we knew we was doing when we were kids. We knew the things we were doing was wrong. We knew what we were doing was wrong.
But that didn't stop us from doing it.
It didn't. But at the same time, too, we took calculated risks.
I think.
And if we had millions on the line, I don't think any of us would have been out there doing some stuff.
I'll be honest with you, I don't know how I would have been able to handle money like that if I had millions like that.
I think too. The bottom line is, this is not just an NFL problem. This is a societal It's
I mean, just right now,
So-
where you go anywhere. I mean, even at work, you know.
Exactly. So it's like this is gonna take more than just a short counseling. I mean, it's gonna have to take some life changing stuff to really get it to hit home.
Well, part of it is how I think that young society objectifies women nowadays too.
That's
huge.
That's exactly it.
I mean, but it's just you want to see these young black athletes be smarter than that.
And that's
You see too many get into trouble.
They're always black. They're always running backs.
Yeah, you see too many. Like I've seen enough people get into trouble to know, you know what, this ain't a good idea for me to be at this party this time of night, or somebody pops off at me. You know what? Yeah, you know what? Have your little 5-minute moment and pop off.
You know, there's a saying.
I'm still gonna be a millionaire.
A fool learns from his own mistakes. A smart man learns from other people's mistakes.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah. Because I mean, they were going, trying to play the comparisons between Ray Rice and this one, and people were trying to like Herman was telling the opposite, but they were trying to say that his career is going to be over. He's not going to play.
Right?
The boy is talented. The NFL does not let talent sit on the
He's
shelf.
gonna play.
Okay,
I think
he
he's
will
gonna
be
play
back. He may not. He's not going to play this year. It's a possibility he may not play next year. But when he is eligible, there will be a team. Washington,
I think somebody
that will address it.
Cowboys.
No,
I think we're a little good at running back play.
I got 2 more points.
Crazy article, man.
I got 2 more points. Then maybe we can move on. Number one. First of all, you can't be that selfish. You almost had another triplets. You had Patrick Mahomes, Kareem Hunt, and Tyreek Hill. There's so much you could have been legends. You could have had this thing going on for years. All of them youngest, young as hell. To me that's really selfish. And another
That's the thing. These players are selfish
because he's still on his rookie contract.
exactly.
So the next team to get him,
He can get a
They
one
got
he
year
can
deal.
get a 1-year deal, and he ain't got no room for goof up. No room. And they can make out like a bandit with him.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're right, Marcus. It's selfish. Selfishness with these players.
And another thing is selfish. I had him in my starting fantasy running back.
Me too.
Now you go and abandon me around playoff time. This is the worst time. For you to go down. And then I got one more thing else to say to any of the ladies that might be listening, because you talked about Kareem Hunt's aggression. Let me say this: if I go down to the zoo, jump into the gorilla cage, and to smack the gorilla, and they get and they get messed up. I'm just saying, there was a lot of aggression on her part too.
Let's not say this.
No.
Let's not say this.
Anyway, so Mike McCarthy was fired.
Hey, the next topic.
No, sir.
Mike McCarthy got fired from Green Bay. For one, you think they should have let him play out the remainder of the year, and where do you think he'll land up at?
I'm gonna start this off real quick because this was like the first time in Green Bay's history that they fired a coach, mid-season, which is really odd. I mean, McCarthy was a really good coach. I mean, a really
He
good
has a
coach.
street named after him.
He
in Green
does.
Bay.
He does. I forgot the statistics, but his record is
8-10
impeccable.
win seasons, at least, and 1 Super Bowl. He's had at least 8. He's had 8, 10.
And they've been in the playoffs. I think they just missed like the last 2 years.
Yeah, he had eight straight playoff appearances. I think 8.
I mean, he was online with Belichick and
Coward? No. Chuck
Tomlin?
Mike Tomlin.
For tenure
Yeah.
in the NFL. But apparently, I mean, just like with Andy Reid when he was with Philadelphia, whatever message he was sending was falling on deaf ears, especially to the star of that team. This with me is an Aaron Rodgers move, 100%. I don't know. They were just saying. I mean, I looked at Aaron's statistics, and Aaron is like number 4 or number 5 right now passing. Yeah, he has like 27 to 1 interception ratio, but he is definitely. I mean, when you watch him play, he's not playing the same way. I wondered if he always did what he wanted to do and didn't pay attention to what the plays were.
They should have it a lot.
You rarely seen him, chuck it down to the running back. Most of the time he was taking a deep shot somewhere, throughout this season. So I think this was an Aaron Rodgers move, but I'm just curious on what coach can go over there and handle it.
They talked about Josh McDaniels possibly. You would think not really a young
Yeah.
coach, bring somebody who's experienced, and that somebody he respect. Somebody he respect.
I don't think Aaron Rodgers is that diva.
I think he is.
I don't know.
I think he
Absolutely.
is. He absolutely is.
I mean, listen, have you seen his brother?
But you know what? But you know what? McCarthy got fired because of his coaching this year. He made some bonehead decisions.
Was he
This
in
year.
charge of player personnel?
I don't think so.
I'm not sure.
I think the president was. I think the president was.
I think that any coach coming in is going to be happy to have. Aaron Rodgers. All Aaron Rodgers can do is make you look good. You don't even have to. You coach what he wants.
My question is this though: how long do you have Aaron Rodgers there for?
At least the next 4 years, maybe 5.
How old is he? 30, he's 35, right?
35.
Yeah, so
He signed a 5-year.
I'm gonna give him till 40. I'm
He
gonna give him till 40.
signed a 5-year extension.
Yeah. I mean, Brady's still playing.
Yeah, I'm gonna give Aaron Rodgers till 40. I don't know. I don't know who you bring in for that job. The Packers usually. I mean, you never. Who's Phil?
Phil.
I forget his name. Philbin is filling in.
Wasn't that Miami's ex-head coach?
Mhm.
Yeah,
That's
it
it.
was. But that tree is long and wide, so you could just go get somebody from that tree. And you're probably going to be okay. Because that's still.
Another name I throw out there that might be surprising you all, but he may get a shot, and that's the offensive coordinator right now for Kansas City Chiefs.
Nah.
You don't think
they're going to bring in a
You don't think they would
defensive
do their own
I feel like you're
the enemy?
I feel like you're going to bring in a defensive guy. You know why? Because their defense has not been great over these years that they were.
They haven't drafted real well.
That way, you get an offensive coordinator, who can work with Rodgers. You have a defensive-minded head coach. Shouldn't see a conflict.
What's their coordinator right now? Because they're thinking about possibly if they do that, they'll just leave that coordinator in place. And
McCarthy called the
play
plays.
caller.
The other, so the coordinator, I don't know. I think you go with I think they go with a defensive guy, and they bring in an offensive coordinator.
They're saying KC's offensive coordinator is getting a lot of looks. Might get a lot of looks.
Hurt the enemy. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, hurt the enemy. That's it.
I mean,
All right, let's get on the last topic. And this one was a joke. It was a onside kick in the game against the Giants and the Bears and Odell Beckham. What was that? The swipe at the ball? What was that?
Business decision.
That was a
That was
business decision.
that was he learned that one from Dion. That was a business.
That was a business decision. That was a joke. That was a joke.
Yeah, it was, but that doesn't surprise me from Odell Beckham.
Absolutely.
Marcus,
I mean, you know what I'm saying? You get what you know what you were signing when you signed that huge deal. Still, well, I bet he won't be out there again. What's the point?
I wouldn't put him
Yeah.
on.
See, he's supposed to be the hands
You
team.
put your best hands out there. He's
Yeah,
supposed to
well,
grab
if
that
you're
ball.
not going to go after the ball, I could just put somebody with clumsy hands out there.
Yeah.
And go after the ball.
Maybe he can just knock it out of bounds.
Yeah. Put somebody that's desperate to make the team next year. Somebody got something to lose on line. You can't put the $60 million man out there.
Did that play kind of remind you of Cam Newton in the Super Bowl? Not trying to go down and get the
Oh
ball?
yeah.
Business decision.
Business decision. All right. So I think that wraps us up for the day. We thank you all for checking us out. Marcus, go ahead and lead us out of here.
Before we leave, just want to encourage everyone to like, share, subscribe to the video. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Get those notifications whenever we go live. Hit that bell. Also check us out on Twitter at DeLevGame3. And we'll see you back again next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. We out.